Oh yeah, Gary. So apparently, after you talk for an hour, which is what happens when you start talking to Gary, Instagram asks you to get off rather suddenly, actually. What I am going to do is hopefully have Gary join us once again, and we'll have a few more questions answered. So if you have any questions, make sure to submit them. Also, if you haven't yet, maybe pour yourself a glass of wine, look at the color, sniff it, because apparently, according to Gary, you just got to drink what you like. So yeah, let's keep going. I'm having a great time. If you guys are too, feel free to make as many comments as you'd like about my beanie. Say whatever you want. Seriously, Simon, knock yourself out. Like, I'm not going to hold you back. You can't offend me. Go for it. Please. All right, Gary. I'm going to make you join again. Here we go. All the comments, Steve. All the comments.
Wait, can we keep going?
Why not? I mean, we had to start over again. The thing was, after an hour of being on, they cut you off. So that's what
Oh,
happened. It was the first time, obviously, that I've ever experienced it, or I would have warned you. So
yeah,
thanks for, educating both of
whatever.
us. The thing is, this is a huge compliment to you, man. I'm like, I don't want to stop. Let's keep going. Let's just keep talking about this. This has been fun. So, I mean, thanks.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm willing to keep going, but if this is enough, we'll do it again
No,
another
we'll,
time.
we'll, we'll answer a few more questions, but I can only imagine that you definitely have had a day already. I know you got a little one you guys take care of, so I don't want to keep you up all night talking wine. You should probably spend some adult time with your wife. But I do want to throw a question out that came from Trelio Chris. What's your trick for differentiating between the Albarino, Pinot Gris, and Gruner Veltliner in a blind tasting? What would you say?
This is the kind of question that gives sommelier candidates nightmares. I've heard this trio of wines in a blind tasting. It's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle because they're all. Well, they're so similar. They're all obviously. They're not obviously. I don't want to
Yeah,
disparage anybody who's maybe not heard of these wines. They're all white wines. They're all what we would call non-aromatic. Not to say they don't smell at all, but they're just not super expressive. So you've got to kind of dig a little, really kind of peek behind all their corners to see what's going on. But there are some tells for each wine. At least, they look similar, but for both for the aroma and the palate, Albarino has this so Albarino is a white grape from
sorry.
the Atlantic. It's from the Atlantic coast of Spain originally. It's a very green place. Think about like the Northwest, Seattle, Portland, green, rainy. Very coastal influence. So some say they can taste this. Tell me if you can taste any like salinity, any sea spray. So there might be a bit of that. There also, if it's a little riper, there's this like tropical note, like this banana, mango thing going on. Gruner Veltliner is kind of the national grape of Austria. And that is expressive, or it shows itself in its can have like a white pepper.
Okay.
And also this like slight bitterness that finishes when the wine finishes on your palate. And then Pinot Grigio, again, Pinot Grigio is kind of that's a hard one because it can take so many shapes or so many forms. But when it's a good Pinot Grigio from either northern Italy or Alsace in France, when it's quality made, there's an aromatics of like a floral, like a white flower, like a bit of a perfume to it. But again, nothing too expressive, nothing that shouts, I'm Pinot Grigio. It's like, hey, I might be Pinot Grigio, but you gotta work for it. So I would look for those three things. I would look for the sea spray, maybe some tropical in the Albarino. I'd look for again, this bitterness and this white pepper in the Gruner Veltliner, and then maybe this like slight florality in the Pinot Grigio, and hopefully that would lead me in a direction where I'd be willing to commit to an answer.
Which I feel like is
but that's it.
What has to
that's tough.
happen here. Whenever you're doing blind tasting, like, hey, you don't know, you're blind, or blind, but you have to just kind of commit. Like, go with what you're training. I mean, this is gonna sound militaristic, but stick to your training. Remember your training, and then if you just go with what you've kind of already, like remembered, whether it's taste buds or olfactory, like just go with it. Totally.
And again, let the.
I don't know. I've never ever compared the three, so it sounded great to me.
Yeah. Again, just let the wine speak to you. Don't tell the wine what it is. That's the whole. If you get in your head, it's so easy to get in your head and be like, oh, I know what this is, and then. So it's that practice of mindfulness, of presence. Stay in the moment, and taste that wine.
Right. Hey, totally. Hey, and I will say, especially because Steve Young was mentioning it, if you guys want all three of those wines, DM me. We can come up with something. We can. No problem. I mean, we have this one. This one is Albarino from Field Recordings. It's great. I was just trying it right now. I got a sample today. And it was just good timing because I didn't know this question was going to pop up. But we could probably come up with something. So if you guys do want to try those three, let me know. But Gary, there's not too many other questions. Hey, but guys, Peanut Gallery, any other questions that you guys have for Gary? Because I want to be able to let him have the rest of the night with his wife to talk and, enjoy that wine. But last call. All right.
My wife's doing great making comments.
She is.
On the feed.
I've been seeing some of them. Holly was monitoring the comments for a little bit, so she was able to pass them on to me. But no, she definitely gets A+. Not only that, but for her ability to promote. I mean, I don't know if you saw the graphics she put together on Instagram. Next level. Next level.
Yep.
Wait, Holly, what is Steve's question?
That's why I keep her around.
I see Steve's question. Are there great options for each? Oh, that is a good question. So, Gary, would you say that there would be, I don't know, for those three, Albarino, Pinot Gris, and Gruner Veltliner, like, are there, like, hey, these are the three brands, the bottles you would take up to?
I mean, I don't have specific producers in mind, but, like, go to the source. Yeah. Get Albarino from Rias Baixas. That's the region in Spain. It's just above Portugal. Get Pinot Grigio, again, from either like Alsace, France, or northeastern Italy, and get Gruner Veltliner from Austria. And it's with imported wines, you got to spend at least like I'd say $15. Just to kind of hedge your bet.
That Steve and Holly both had mentioned is $15 versus $40. What's a?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't really. If you're drinking for exploration, don't spend more than $15-20 for a bottle, because you want a good enough bottle that it is a worthy example. But yeah, don't spend too much, because then your gamble might not pay off. I wouldn't say spend more than $30 on a bottle unless you know what it is and you're potentially holding it for a special occasion.
I'm starting to read Simon's comments.
I know. It's that peanut butter whiskey.
Oh man! Oh, that's funny. Oh, that is so funny.
But yeah, just spend $15 to $25 on a bottle, unless again you know what it is. It's a special bottle for a special occasion. $25, because at the very least you'll learn something. Even if it's not a great bottle of wine, taste it. Taste why it's not a great bottle of wine. There might not be complexity to it. It just might be off in certain ways. That's a valuable tasting experience. But hopefully you get a good bottle that's both
that's like the win.
something
like,
that'll teach you something and be tasty.
Yeah, I feel like there is a lot of fun if you turn it into almost a gamble, whatever. Like, hey, let's try this out. Let's just let's take a gamble. Let's do something that maybe even an experienced wine professional like yourself recommended, and just try it and see what happens. I know that I get spoiled because there's so much that we get to try here at Bricks and Barrel, but I will actually throw this out there too. Here, I don't know if you know this, but I have a guarantee. So if anybody doesn't like the bottle, I just give them the money back. They don't even need to return the bottle. I just give them their money back. So I'm like, if you want to experiment, knock yourself out. Most of the time, you're going to like it, though, because we taste every single one of the bottles. I mean, not the bottle that you get, but like before, we won't touch your food kind of thing, but you know what I'm talking about. And so I feel like that's something I should throw out. Also, Gary, I know I had mentioned this to you, but I want people to know that all the sales from today as well as tomorrow, part of it will be going towards you, sir, just so you know. I know that you and other people in the restaurant industry are kind of hit hard right now, and one reason why I'm doing this is because I want to make sure that one, we get to spread the knowledge of the restaurant industry like you have, and then two, on top of that, we're able to hopefully, it's not going to be obviously something you can put a down payment on a house on, but I just want you to know how much I appreciate what you do. Like even though people might say hey, you're a waiter or anything else. No, it's so much more. Like what you offer as far as experiences that I've had with my wife, as far as I've had it with my family, and in general, it is a huge treat that has meant a lot to me. So anyway, I'm excited to at least say sales today, tomorrow, portion of those will be going towards you. So guys, tonight we tasted Maddie. I already sold a case. Thanks, Ann Watson. But at the same time, if you guys do order more, I know that Amanda, my sales rep from JNL, is actually watching tonight, so I'll be able to get something as quick as we can. So feel free to order some more Maddie or anything else, because I'd love to be able to continue to throw some towards Gary. I'm not trying to rush out the call, so if anything, I just want to make sure that that's said before the call's over, though. So, I just appreciate what you do, man, because I'm glad you got your master's degree.
Thank you.
I think that also, you still are in ministry in some ways.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But hey, last question, and then actually, I think we will probably call it. What is a wine that you would say, this is my go-to? This is the bottle, I love drinking this wine. You could say, I love all the wine that's in front of me, but seriously, I know there's a wine that popped into your brain. What was it?
I mean, I mentioned earlier a Barolo. Yeah. I mean, these are more expensive bottles. So something that would be a little more everyday. Yeah. I mean, this Cab Franc, something like this. I mean, in Cab Francs from their homeland, Central France, you can get a great bottle for $20-25. So, yeah, I'm loving this Cab Franc. I'm going to call Cab Franc.
Hey, you know what? Maddie, Cab Franc is a good answer. And also, there's a few people that wanted to know, hey, are there any recs that you currently have on Bricks and Barrel? And let me throw this out there, too. Are there any bottles that you want me to drop off after I Purell? Because I would be happy to drop a bottle off tomorrow. What would be some recs if you knew of any of the wines other than Maddie at Bricks and Barrel?
I mean, anything by Field Recordings. I love what they're doing over there. Yeah, I'm a fan of their approach to winemaking. He's got kind of his baseline of wines, but if you can visit his tasting room especially, they find vineyards, really peculiar sites on the Central Coast, and then just make wine from those grapes, and they come out really cool. I think Moroview, this Albarino, is one of them that you tasted.
So if any of that gets
Jurassic
real,
Park.
just to let you know.
Yeah, I'd love to taste that one.
You know what? I
So
still
hint,
have the
hint.
bottle. The rest is yours if you want it.
Great. I'll be there in
All right,
20
fair
minutes.
enough. I want your wife to drive. Fair enough.
Yeah, so I can't say I've got the most extensive inventory in my head of the Bricks and Barrel offerings, but you can't go wrong with field
Yeah.
recordings.
I don't blame you. And you know what? That is such a good segue. I did mention to you, guys, apparently we're going to keep doing Wine Wednesday. Guess what? Hey, Gary, guess who we're going to have next week on Wine Wednesday?
Is it Andrew Jones of Field
It
Recordings?
is Andrew Jones of Field Recordings. He will be on Wine Wednesday.
That's so
I think
cool.
that's fun. I think that's going to be fun. So the guy behind the Fabulous Field Recordings, as well as Barter and Trade and a few others, he has said, I say that kind of be like, hey, you know what? He said it. He could back out. I don't know. But at the same time, next week, 8 o'clock, we're going to be having him. So it might not be as cool as Dr. Gary, but at the same time, I think it'll be pretty fun because I love his wine too. His background is, I believe, is vineyard management, and that has given him this perspective of like, hey, I can find the diamonds next to, all these really high-priced wines and, kind of pull some really good wines out of it. And so, yeah, the Fabulous over delivers. The Fabulous Merlot is my answer. When somebody's like, hey, what should I be drinking? I love that stuff. But anything that he and even Kirk Shockland from Sans Leash, they've teamed up and done some really cool stuff. So, anyway.
Yeah, that should be super cool. It's one thing to talk to a SOMM, it's another thing to talk to a winemaker.
True.
So his perspective will be. I'm really excited for that. I'll be watching.
Good, man. And you know what? In the meantime, guys, please, if you do purchase that thing, a portion of it will be going to Gary, so feel free to go on. DM me if you need any help with the site. But thank you so much for watching tonight. I hope you guys had fun. If you have any comments about how we should improve the show or any changes or anybody that we should have on, just DM us. That's the way we're going to do it. So, Gary, I can't thank you enough. Thank you to your beautiful wife for letting me borrow you for the evening. This has been so much fun. I'm going to stop touching my face, and everybody read the comments from Simon about puka shells and everything else that has to do with my beanie.
Thank you all. Thank you, Trevor.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.